My name is Thomas, and this is For the Common. As always, rules of the road. You have to do your own investment research. You have to make your own investment decisions. Do not make an investment decision just because I make one. I get things wrong all the time. And speaking of wrong, holy wow. It has been almost exactly 2 years since I decided to quit my day job, to become a YouTuber, to talk to folks about my stock picking skills as a prodigy and a millionaire. And yeah, didn't work out quite the way I was hoping. But on the plus side, I learned some super valuable lessons over the last 2 years. And will those lessons be worth the $2 million that I lost in the stock market in 2022? Probably not. That's a lot of money, but only time will tell, so we'll see. But on the plus side, I have experienced a cycle now. I've witnessed it, I've invested through it, I've cried through it, and that's a stock cycle, an economic cycle, and it was a good experience, so hooray! But it felt like going through a washing machine cycle for 2 hours and surviving, or if you surf fans out there, going over the falls on a wave. And yeah, it was not pretty. I saw companies go from the most loved in the stock market in weeks, they became the most hated. And my portfolio followed with them in lockstep. And it was not fun. And I don't blame the Fed for getting out there and fighting inflation the way that they did, putting an end to the party. Really, they had to do it. There were a lot of excesses. And so I'm glad they got the jump on it. But my portfolio, yeah, it felt it. And Warren Buffett likes to say, it's only when the tide goes out do you realize who's been swimming naked. For the record, I had lost my pants 2 years ago. I had no idea where they were. I was having a great time out there. I was really doing a science experiment to see where and how far I could push things to hit a limit. And surprise, I hit the limit. It's a brick wall, and it's right to the face. So yeah, that was tough. So now I'm here. I'm naked, metaphorically. I am bouncing along the shores of misfortune and greed and loss, just pondering life. And it's culminated in 2022 being most likely the hardest year of my life so far. And now I'm here with way more wrinkles, way less hair, just a finance nerd with a hurt ego, some really large realized and unrealized losses, and no YouTube views, still trying to figure out. And now, even more frustrating, my cancel button on my calculator is broken, which I got to figure out how to try and fix that. So what a world. But I'm obviously joking. There are wars going on. There are people going through way more significant challenges. It's tragic. And people are struggling with higher rents, with higher cost of living, with layoffs, with crime. I mean, honestly, we have been I'm so grateful, and we've been so lucky for experiencing and for being able to survive the last couple of years the way that we did. We didn't lose the house. That was nice. I actually transitioned to a different job at a technology company. Somehow my wife didn't divorce me. Still don't know why she didn't just pack it up and walk away. But all in all, despite those bumps and bruises of losing $2 million in the market, we fared actually pretty well. And that comes to why I create this video now, after 2 years. And there's one word for it. There's one reason. It's because there is hope. There is hope. It's potential hope and light at the end of the tunnel after years of market consolidation. And the reason why primarily is that inflation appears to be coming down. That's what the data shows, even though we may not see that at the grocery store. But be careful, folks, please stop buying overpriced things out there. It looks like inflation is coming down. And secondly, and almost as importantly, the economy is actually doing pretty well. The employment picture, it's great. People are able to get jobs. Economic growth, while it's come down and moderated, it hasn't fallen off a cliff. So while there's always the potential for a recession, it's possible that the economy might end up avoiding that and be able to stick a fabled soft landing. So while time will tell and anything can happen, it's possible that the Federal Reserve's aggressive tightening policy maybe is currently sufficiently restrictive. So it's possible that we may not need any more rate hikes, or at least we could have less of them in the future. So after getting absolutely smashed in the stock market, wanting to throw in the towel a ton of times, I have hope that we've put a bottom in this market and we've at least found a little bit of footing. And there's been some false starts before anything can happen. It's a really dynamic and volatile time, but I'm hopeful that in 3 to 5 years, we're going to look back at 2023 and 2024 and say, man, those were some fantastic buying opportunities. So while I have some lessons learned from this last difficult 2 years of pain, like margin can suck and you got to trust your gut. The most important lesson that I want to reiterate and that I truly believe is that high quality companies that can capture and capitalize on long-term growth, they're going to do well for investors over the long term, and they're going to produce good returns. And with a little bit of skill, some luck, and a lot of patience, you can take advantage of that powerful stock compounding in that journey to financial independence. So if you have any experiences from the last 2 years that you want to share about challenges or things that you learned, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. As always, I really appreciate your support in making this channel a success with a thumbs up or a subscribe. And coming up next, some of those difficult lessons learned and also a portfolio reveal that I am not particularly looking forward to. But you know what? Let's get it. For the Common, it's back.